Hey, how you doing? Neil from Perth Rangehoods. Today we were in Nedlands upgrading a Miele undermount Rangehood. We had to modify the cabinets to take the old one out and put the new one in. We cleaned up and the customer was happy. And he was so happy that he gave us a 5-star review. And that's another install done by Perth Rangehoods. So this was an interesting one. We were called in to have a look at an undermount Rangehood that had failed. It was intermittent and it was turning itself on and off. Naturally, I get in there and I want to protect the worktop that I'm going to be working over and the floor as well. And that's just to protect the surfaces and to minimise the cleaning at the end as well. And obviously, just out of respect, it's someone's home, so it's always good to practice that as well. Now, I'd seen this previously because the real estate agent and the customer wanted me to go and have a look at the installation just to measure it up and to get an idea of the amount of work that would be involved in upgrading a Rangehood like this. It sounds simple, just to pop one out and pop one back in, but it absolutely wasn't because of the design of the kitchen and obviously the flooring arrangements that the Rangehood had. So once I'm set up, I'm having a look at trying to get this appliance out of the cabinetry, and the thing is you know, I came to discover that in order to even turn off the appliance without having to turn the electrics off for the whole house, just to turn it off at the GPO that it was being powered from, I would have to cut away the cabinetry surrounding the Rangehood. So I had to set up a multi-tool and I could see where the GPO was through a crack in between the existing cabinetry and the Rangehood itself. So yeah, I went to cut it out nice and surgically, nice and slowly, and I popped that little panel out, ready to replace, you know, when the new Rangehood was put back in. So yeah, that worked really well. Once I got access there, I could actually get in there and remove that bracket, and then the Rangehood dropped down, and then I was able to then start working on installing the new one. So this is the point where I get my laser level out and I start measuring exactly where it's going to go to make sure that it is centered and make sure I've got equal measurements on each side. And then this time I just use a jigsaw to remove the material from the cabinet that we don't need anymore, because the new Rangehood was actually wider, the fan box was actually wider. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gone back into the cavity that the old one came out of. So once the cabinets were modified, I then took the opportunity to extend the flue, because the flue where it was connected to the Rangehood where it was installed at that level, but it didn't extend down to the Rangehood at a lower level. And installing a ducting through the little hatch that I cut to access the power, etc., it just wasn't going to fly. So I extended the ducting down to an easier level where I could actually use a hose clamp to connect the ducting to the appliance ready to be pushed up into the cavity. So once I connected the ducting to the appliance, I could then push it up into place and secure the Rangehood into the cabinetry. So once the Rangehood was in place and secured to the cabinetry, I could then plug it into the GPO above the cabinetry and test the appliance. The appliance was working absolutely fine. Then the only thing left to do was to replace the cutout and rebuild the cabinetry to go back as it was before we removed the previous Rangehood, and make sure that it all fits with the new Rangehood. So once that was all done, I just cleaned up and showed the tenants how to obviously work the appliance, and obviously how to remove the grease filter inside the Rangehood so they could clean it and maintain the appliance so it works for years to come. The tenants were so happy that they had a new Rangehood to use, so they could actually use their cooktop to cook meals instead of just the oven. So they were so happy, they left us a 5-star review, and this is what they said.
Hi, I'm John Cook. I'm a renter living in a house in Nedlands WA. I came across Neil thanks to my real estate agent. I thought the job today was extraordinary because it was quite complex. I think a lot of people would have been put off by the fact that there was more than just an installation involved. There was some actual cabinetry work involved, some taking apart of the cabinetry that underpinned the Rangehood, and you did it without any sort of issue, and in a very, very quick and efficient manner that solved a problem very, very well. If someone's thinking of getting a Rangehood fixed or a new Rangehood installed, I'd recommend Neil every time, because he's the sort of guy who can just get a job done very quickly. Most people have had issues in the past of waiting for trades for days, well, not days, but weeks. Neil was here last week to measure the job, to get an idea of what was involved. He was back less than a week later, and the job's done, and done perfectly, and he cleaned up before he left. What's not to love about that? Neil, I think I'd give you 5 stars out of 5 because the job was just done to exactly how we wanted it done. We got the outcome we needed without any issues, and it was also really fun having a chat with you as well. You know, it's not often that your tradie is someone that you can have a chat to and share some opinions and talk about politics and all things in between. So yeah, it was a good experience in a lot of ways, more than just getting the job done. So that's a rare experience, very rare.
If you're looking for a Rangehood install in the Perth area, please reach out to us at perthrangehoods.com.au. You'll find our contact information there. You can see our install videos on our website and watch more on our YouTube channel at Perth Rangehoods. And you can also watch our video testimonials there as well. And if you're more of a reader, you can go and read our Google reviews on our business page. Now, with that said, if you know anyone else that's updating their kitchen or they need a Rangehood installed either in their kitchen or their alfresco, be sure to pass our details on to them, or even just copy some of the links from our video testimonials and our work install stuff on YouTube and send it over to them. They might find this stuff useful. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.